We did actually decide to be home today. I'm driving to South Carolina tonight actually for spring break. Crazy.
Oh my goodness. You're going to be so close to us. You should drop by in Atlanta.
And I have the exact same microphone here as I do at home, but it just doesn't work for some reason. Technology hates me. So what I was thinking was, before we were talking before the podcast, the gold, so to speak, we should just hold our thumbs up or down during the entire podcast. Good business technology, bad business technology.
I like it.
Is there not a Google Chrome plugin for this?
I don't know. You know what? Actually, if you took the Hangouts experience and put it in an app, ooh, be good. I guess that is Skype for Business. Or I learned about a new technology this week called RTC. It's like I think it might stand for real-time collaboration, but all it is really is HTML5 video web chat. So like take all the BS out of video chat and just embed it in everything. Kind of interesting. Check out RTC on Wikipedia if you haven't seen it.
Show notes. RTC.
So this podcast, we titled it a couple different things. I started with "Spring is in the air" because I thought
freaking air.
it was a good. Yeah, it definitely is in the air now. It's almost 70 in Minnesota.
I thought you were just apologizing in advance for all of our nasally sounds with our allergies killing.
No, I was thinking spring cleaning, and when I think about spring cleaning, I think about application rationalization, and I think about getting archaic technology out of the hands of business users and sunsetting applications.
Oh, nice wordplay.
How about the workarounds that we have to do as users of technology, because enterprise technology just consistently fails, or even consumer technology. Even let's pick on like Google Photos backup for a second. Or iCloud, or Apple's iCloud photo backup. Well, here we are in 2016, and we don't have a single leading technology vendor who can just make sure our pictures are safe.
I think Google Photos has actually gotten a lot better in the last 6 months. I don't know why exactly, but what they do is they give you unlimited space, which I think is now that's the barrier to entry, I guess.
Yeah.
At a discounted resolution, so we've got I think 12 pixel resolution instead of 15 maybe. But that unlimited thing makes it really easy. What they really stink at though is just integration. Like I can't simply post from Google Photos to Instagram or back them all up automatically.
So, and then the other thing that I still find that's very amusing and amusingly ineffective is that they don't recognize the duplicates, right? So just because I open a photo on WhatsApp, it gets stored to my stupid photo. I open it again on something, it gets stored. Now I'm taking out. It's just such a pain.
Yeah.
Because I got to manage that much more photos, and like then I lose interest, and then it's.
So today we've got welcome to Hacking Business Technology. I'm Matt Barron. Matt Hooper's down here. I found out actually last week that I'm pointing the wrong way when I'm pointing at people's pictures. We've got Matt Hooper, Farrar Mtula. Mark said he would be here, but he's having some difficulties finding some free space. He's going to a co-working location of some kind. And who, or maybe that is Mark. I'm making assumptions.
The new Mark.
Yeah.
This is Win Tompkins. He's one of my colleagues and happened to be in the room, and I told him that he's now going to be on a podcast.
Win.
First podcast ever.
Right.
Nice.
Win for the win. The podcast Win.
That's
nice. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I work with Farah. Been doing work at KPMG. Doing work in the ITSM space for about 2.5 years now.
So he's not completely scarred.
Still very naive.
How many medications have you started taking when not in ITSM?
I must be getting close, right?
But in what regard? Are you doing process consulting, development?
Yeah, all the above. Not much development, kind of light development, working with our developers to build out ServiceNow solution, and doing a lot of process work, and then some project management stuff, which is not as
Exciting?
Exciting.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
not as
Okay.
You know, every time that you say ServiceNow on this podcast, you have to put $20 in the ServiceNow jar.
Oh, wow.
What?
It's the only technology I know, so I better go to the ATM.
No,
So what's
that's
your
not true.
background? Before ITSM, what were you doing?
Before I was being a student. So I majored in Management Information Systems, UGA, so aligned with whole technology consulting.
Nice.
Straight into an SI, big firm,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
incredibly sharp people like Farah.
Yeah.
So here's my thought for somebody who's so new to ITSM, right? And everything that you learned in school, your education, and all your parents' hard-earned money, right? How much of an eye-opener was it to see just how dysfunctional IT truly is as you walk in and see the silos and people not understanding what ITSM is and having to redefine it yourself, even though there's so much to be found on the internet about it? Like, or am I jading you? You did not find that experience?
No, I don't think you are shading me. Yeah, I mean,
like,
it
hey,
wasn't. I don't think it
Talked
was
about
like.
my last half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was like a kind of a eureka moment or like wow everything's totally messed up, because when I was starting out I kind of didn't really know anything either, so it's been more of a gradual process than anything. But it is interesting being in the role that I'm in, being 25 and working with these large organizations, helping define processes and enterprise tool and whatnot.
Do you feel like it's
Limited experience, I
Right.
guess.
But then, in terms of what you've picked up on, right, in the last couple of years of your career, is it surprising to you that you're able to connect with certain things so much quicker, and why still an organization that's so large might still be struggling with it? Like, was that?
Yeah, no, I mean it is kind of surprising. You see so much areas that could be better with seemingly not that much work, but every company struggles with ITSM. And so that's why.
It's because the only knowns, this is the less brighter version of me, the only knowns in business are change is always going to happen, and complexity is always going to get worse as time goes on. And people, they think we delude ourselves into thinking that we can hop in front of that train, that we are able to catch up to it. Yes.
There's a third one.
What do you think? Oh, that money rules everything?
No. The money doesn't rule everything. Things break. That's life. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you'll find with ITSM people, they want to over-engineer the process to avoid failure. And when reality is, if they embrace the fact that failure was just going to happen, but it's a learning moment, how do we react to that failure? How do we learn quickly from that?
And how do you recover from it and not suffer the same thing again the next time around?
Build resiliency.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And so on this putting win on the spot kind of train that we're on right now, so we're all about business technology, and that's kind of what we've been really focusing on the last couple of episodes, is really defining what is business technology, why we're intentionally calling it business technology. So as you made the transition from school to here, how well did school prepare you, or what technology did it expose you to, or did it, versus what you've seen in the industry versus what you're used to at home in your own life and what you've automated?
Yeah, that's a good question. So starting with school, what school prepared me for? So I mean, I think just in terms of teaching you how to think, like in terms of systems development, which is a decent amount of what we do, teaching how to have kind of like an engineering mindset, even though what I did was kind of light programming and light in those areas, but still kind of gives you that mindset. So I think that helps. But in terms of like projects and what we did there versus here, just night and day in terms of complexity and dealing with large amounts of people and whatnot. And then in terms of kind of technology learned at home versus like how I can bring that here. I mean, one thing that I think helps if you're tech savvy, not in the business world, but just with your own devices, is like a lot of what we do is working with, our kind of technical group to hand something over to a user group. Just understanding usability of technology and devices is a big thing that you can kind of learn on your own. Look at like a device like an iPhone, which is like super, super easy to use, right? How can you try to bring some of that into the business world?
And do they teach you about like technology now that is managing technology? So things such as Docker and Mesosphere and Ansible and these kind of technologies that are the managers of technologies.
No, I didn't learn anything. I mean, basically what we covered was like light systems development. Nothing to that degree. But the one thing. What was that?
PHP and JavaScript and some basic coding languages.
That's quite right.
But the thing is, so I mean, I went to University of Georgia, and our MIS program, like every year, it was changing though. So I think that is probably the direction that kids now or a few years. That's probably where it's heading.
Yeah.
Kids these days and their JavaScript.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can toss that term out there like that.
Because it's interesting what business technology is, right? If you asked me, I think I'm the oldest one here on the call today, till Mark joins us. If you ask me what business technology is, I go to my roots of ERP, enterprise resource planning tools, such as Oracle, ERP, SAP. I date myself. I go back to the Dataflex and Btrieve days. We used to run on NetWare. You can Google it when.
Yeah, none of those should be on this podcast.
You can open an encyclopedia.
Yeah, because if you're 25, I was using those tools when you were born. So those are to me the kind of business technologies, things that manage how your business operates. It's order to cash, it's inventory controls, it's shipping order systems. But I also think business technology has moved to more traditional IT realms because data science and business analysts have become so technical that you also now have things such as Hadoop, I think, is now a probably common business technology. Hadoop being a large-scale data access system. I wouldn't classify it as a database per se, but a data access metafile system. And so you have concepts like data lakes and data intelligence and business analytics and algorithmic detection, anomalistic detection, kind of stuff that is traditionally more borderline business, but now it's mainstream business. And I think that's kind of interesting. I also think IoT stuff, like wearables and sensory devices are now common language inside the business terms.
Even in marketing, right? Even the search engine optimization, what they do now is so much more technically oriented and things that they've gained these skills in that they previously wouldn't have even thought of or approached it, right? Marketing was traditionally much more about messaging and all of that, but I feel like so much of those analytical tools and search engine optimization and all of that piece has become kind of natural language to them.
Yeah, attribution. You think about attribution and how they drop pixels or cookies on your system, and they're doing data tracking of your interests and logging that against the types of searches you have in your email types and what you talk about on social media and the correlation of that interest types. Yeah, those are big IT things that are totally not considered IT anymore. Right?
Yeah, it's business.
It's business.
Right. Which, it's and that's again back to the relevancy of IT, right? So this is just these very examples of why we have to realize that IT is no longer the center of its own universe, right? How does IT continue to stay relevant and grow and provide value to the business when the business is just as tech savvy as someone who might have traditionally been in an apps role inside of an IT group? No longer are.
Yeah.
Tech became the differentiator that people were using to get ahead of other people in their same sector. And so, like Salesforce, for example, if you're in sales, or Salesforce if you're in marketing, or there's tons of examples like that. And so what happened is tech got equated to being your path to money. And so it goes back to last week's episode where we're talking about what is business technology, and it's revenue impacting technology. And if that technology gets you closer or more money faster or closer to the money faster, then that's why tech and business is so close now.
It's also due about the sustainability of that growth, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's if you look at MIT Sloan's digital transformation survey, when queried by CEOs what their top focus is for digital transformation, it's overwhelmingly growth, market growth. It's overwhelmingly differentiator and market competitive analysis. Way down the list, it's cost control, it's meeting regulatory and compliance. And so if you just took those two factors and you mapped out, okay, what role is focused on growth and market differentiation, and what role is focused on cost control and compliance? You've got this CMO and you've got this CIO, and you look, okay, which one's going to get the money and the spending? Well, then you look at Gartner's analysts saying, well, we reduced the amount of money that we're spending in IT. Well, it doesn't mean we're reducing the amount of money we're spending on technology as corporations.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the budget is shifting. Now, if Gartner went and queried CMOs or chief digital officers or those who are outside of IT as part of their analysis, they would actually see that, of course, the money is spending more because you can just tally up the revenues of all the big companies out there, like Oracle, like SAP. They're all, increasing their revenues. It's a good economy, but the money's not coming from IT, which I just think is. I read an article today from the former CIO from GE who was saying about this change of dynamic, and what caught my eye was it was in a newsletter where someone stated, IT is no longer becoming a department. It's becoming a function across the business, which is a phrase I coined back in 2012. Right? So I had to go back and retweet my TFD. Bye IT will miss you. Basically, just to say, yeah, really? This is 4 years ago, and people are just finally catching on to this. Business technology is IT is not the future. Business technology is the future, right?
You gotta follow the money. That's how you can tell what makes business tech great. If you think about the power of being able to see what everyone is buying, like we talk about shadow IT like it's this terrible thing, but really, if I'm going out and buying something, like I'm designing something, let's say I need a font, I go and buy a font for $400, there is no way that I am going to pay for that myself. The power of just being able to see what people are expensing and what they're buying, it tells you what is actually adding value to the company.
Yeah, it was funny. I had to go back and. Sorry, Farah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's too bad Mark is not here because I think his also counter to that would be, or just talk to the people, which is what he's been trying to do for so many years by not being in a single location, right? He wants to understand exactly that, around how people are, what they're using, what they're doing, and follow that trail.
They're fallible. Humans will fail. They will forget what they have done. They don't get it. They really don't. They don't. When I go and I buy that font, I don't think about it as business technology. If a BA came out to me and said, "Okay, what do you need to get your job done faster?" I don't think that I would think about that stuff. I would have to go back and look and see. I don't know. That's tough. You need both.
Balance of both. I'd agree.
Well, that's the key principle in Clay Christensen's book, The Innovator's Dilemma, right? Is that you need to find ways in order to disrupt what you're doing without disrupting what you're doing. So you talk to people and they want all these things, then you got to find, okay, how do I get the funding sources for this, and then how do I do the organizational change management to instrument what they want? We all know that we should be doing those things, but what's the practicality that they will do those things? We all know that we should log every single change and someone should approve it. What's the practicality of that? So find that barrier and remove that barrier, which is, okay, well, go ahead and make the change without approval, but just write it down. I'll take that for now. And then if you screw things up consistently, then I'm going to start asking for approval. But if you prove that you're a good kid and you do the right things, I'm going to let you drive my car.
Yeah, dude. This topic is way too big for one episode. We need to cover this over several episodes. there are so many aspects of what makes good technology great that we need to just continue this conversation. It'd be interesting to see how people segment software and then align to something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But if you have suggestions, send them our way. Our podcast is back up on iTunes. If you used to be a subscriber, go back and hit us up there. Our back catalog is finally uploaded. 50 episodes posted to iTunes last week. So go there. If you listen, like us on there, share a comment, do a review, something. Win, thanks for being here. That's how you hack business technology.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.